Good morning, folks. This is Bill from Little White Dory, and we're making some breakfast on one of our new toys. This is a Blackstone 28-inch griddle 2-burner. We bought it because it was going to be more practical to buy for $149 this griddle than something else that I would need to be able to use. Here it is, the other toy. I bought myself a little big green egg. It's called a mini. It works awesome. I'll do a video on it at some point. And it sits on top of this nicely, so if I want to use the egg, I could put it up here and get it up to crazy hot temperatures, and the steel griddle is working fine as far as being a fireproof bottom for it. I'm afraid to put it on wood or plastic, and I don't have anything steel or stainless steel outside or ceramic, so this just was a good idea, I think, just to buy this. Now I'm getting to use it to make breakfast. Alrighty, I'll be back. I'm going to just go do this, and then we'll pick up some footage in a little bit, and we'll sew it all together later. So just a few seconds of the end results. It's kind of a mess, but it was eggs, mushroom, cheese, omelette over toast, and then I, on the griddle, kind of rebrowned some pulled pork that I had made previously, and my wife and I will pull it and then freeze it in packets. So then it's refried pulled pork, no barbecue sauce on it, just seasoned and smoked, and a big huge egg breakfast. My buddy's version of it over here, pretty much the same kind of a concoction. And now we'll see if we can finish these things. Fresh. Okay, and so finally we have this cleaned off. It's cooling down. I'll put the cover that I bought for it on it. And it's just funny, this barbecue is a hand-me-down. We replaced the grates and the burners. No, the burners were good. The grates and just the grates, I guess, is all we had. Oh, the flavorizers, that's it. I have this Weber over here, which is one of my earlier barbecues, and I just recently found at a curbside pickup stand. It's the exact match for it, so now it's got its own little stand. Then, of course, we've got the little big green egg over here, and for that I had to buy this contraption to get it started. It works really well with the charcoal, natural wood charcoal. And the next thing is I put this thing on Craigslist. I'm going to probably wind up making a few bucks on it, I hope. But it's the tractor I bought to cut grass, which it didn't come to fruition. So I'm thinking I should get rid of it and keep looking for something now that I know more about it. I'm looking into something a little different. But it's a YM226. It's a 3-cylinder diesel, 22 horsepower. Doesn't have a loader in the front and doesn't have a belly mower. But it has this really big 72-inch woods cutter, finish cutter. And it's branded Yanmar, so it's matched to this tractor from when it was bought. And it's the only thing it's ever actually used on it, is this cutter. PTO is all in good shape. Everything is good. It's been parked here for the whole winter. You've seen it in my other videos. And there isn't a single drop of any kind of oil underneath it at all. Nothing. No fuel, no transmission, no axle grease, nothing. It's perfect. The gearbox has apparently been replaced. Not a big deal. I think they're a relatively simple commodity to come by and change if it does go bad again. And it's got a 3-blade system, so sharpen the blades and I'm thinking I'm in business. Today we took down the canopy here, letting it dry out before it completely folded up. We had some rain here from Dorian. It's gone. Now I'm just going to let this dry off and put that away for the season. We are looking at some amazing flowers this year. I see this little butterfly fluttering. Nancy bought and put in the ground some zinnias, and needless to say, the butterflies are loving them, and it's kind of cool, you know. There you guys. Hope you can see that. It's very pretty. I don't know what it is. It's not a monarch, but pretty enough. Small. So this is also cricket season, and so you flip over anything and you find tons of crickets. So I've been training my chickens to come get crickets. We picked up a fire ring, and we burned one Duraflame log in it so far. I don't have any split wood. I've been letting the grass grow because I'm going to try and see if I can cut grass with the cutter on the tractor. So I say to myself, all right, at least I can say if I sell it, it works. We have Chica over here in the shoe, she's the bad girl. She's the pot stirrer. So she's been quarantined to this mobile tractor. I put her in with the coop at night with the other girls, but she can't be in with them. She's just too vicious. So she's going to the soup pot soon, I think. Otherwise, the other girls are doing well. Not everybody's laying. We've got our asparagus growing like crazy here. Looking forward to that again next year. Lots of peppers came out. I had a Anaheim chili pepper. There's probably a ton of them on here still. It's so hard to find them once you start picking them. Here's one. Good example, right? Nice, happy. It's not very hot. It's kind of like a green bell pepper. I'm not a big fan of green bell, but I ate one. I do have some green bells down in there. They're small. They might make it. There's one larger. The ground cherries are a big hit with the chickens. Hopefully they don't have a problem eating them. They've, of course, done their fair share of attacking my tomato garden. And so this year, at the end of this year, these tomato plants are going to come out, and the cattle panels that I have over here will be put over the top of this particular garden. And I'll probably pull a white tarp or a tarp over it and make it a covered space that the chickens can get into if I need to separate chickens, and maybe still be able to handle a snow load if they're bent like that. We've done some reorganizing back here. We've now got the whole back section covered with wood chips, mulch, or shred. It's really shredded, triple shred mulch, but it's a non-dyed natural hardwood. We had, let's see, 10 yards of it brought here, and we spread it around. The chickens are totally loving it. There's all kinds of goodies growing into them. So I've been letting them out into this back section here now, a much bigger section. I have them confined back there with one of the panels because I have a hawk situation, and they seem to be okay if they're close, tight to the fences. But if they were to come out here into the garden, let's go in, that section is now being devoured by the girls. There's tomato plants all along here. You can see them, they're my excess. There's this is actually a funny story. This is a volunteer tomato plant. It is enormous, and it has tons of tomatoes. They're ripening. They're a little late, but there's tons of fruit on them, as you can see, I think. I hope you can see. And they'll ripen, and I'm kind of conceding them to the chickens. These more tomato plants in here. We got the kale now. They're going into the kale. They're happy about it because they got kale. They're happy about it because there's some inchworms on them, and they're loving that too. So this will all be picked clean. You can start seeing it a little more out here where they've kind of really gotten to it already. All right, the kale leaf is pretty much seems dead. But if I leave this, it will come back, maybe. We'll try it, and I'm going to plant some more kale into here to overwinter it. More tomato plants. The back end, we also kind of made a commitment to the wood chips to run out to where the coop stops, because when the chickens poop in here, it pretty much disappears right away. So we'll probably wind up redoing this corner here because this tree needs to be pruned, and this was put here so that it would cast shade for the chickens, and it will in time. You can see the grapevines are doing exactly that. All along the edge here on the other side is shade from noon on, so that gives them a place to stay. Oh, by the way, these yellow tomatoes, very, very tasty. Very happy with them. They were called a Dad's Sunset, and you can see us chickens like them too. I conceded this whole area here to some, I don't know what this is. This might be some, I don't know what it is. Mustard probably. But they get their shade, and the grapes are for the most part gone now. You can maybe see some of them in here. I don't really see enough to even point to say these are the grapes, but they were loaded with grapes, and I was pushing them, throwing them by handfuls over to the chickens. Just looking for some buried someplace, but I think I pretty much picked this clean myself and Nancy. Here we go. So here's some grapes. Let me see if we get the sun out. This is just some small, not too well developed, but I would just pull the cluster and throw it over. I see a little more here, and they either eat it or they don't. I've been pulling it out of this tree here periodically, just kind of violently, bringing it over, bending it, but just pulling it out of that tree. And this will all get pruned back next year sometime. Alright, so this is it, man. The garden is, again, once weed free, thanks to a one-time effort of a woofer named Sophie. I think I'm gonna, well, we've been writing to another woofer for 3 nights, and she is from Japan. She's visiting in New York, and she's looking for some woofing and to be able to just spend some time out on Long Island, which she certainly will get. Boy, I tell you. Oh, this is from the canopy. Okay, that's not bad. It's just cloth. They've been digging though, and I've got my weeds all under control. This shed's gonna have to be another project. I'm gonna look to try to get almost all the contents of this shed onto the trailer that I use as the tomato wagon. I have I'll show it. I just made some signs to put out on the tractor. You can see that, I think. Just a quick preview. And I have this plastic, which this plastic is not going to hold up great, but I have other tarps that I'm going to put over this and make myself one big covered trailer, wagon, whatever. And it's pretty solid. I mean, the straps on top really do give it enough support. So hopefully by the end of the day today I'll have this covered. Let's see. The camper, we did the RV tape up on the top. It seems like it did the job. Boy, I'll tell you, if you ever want to hear a story about how crappy American-made campers are, just talk to me. Everything that could possibly go wrong with this camper has gone wrong. Most of it has been fixed adequately, but a lot of it is just left to be crappy, and you just have to accept it. Anyway, we'll get into that now. Alrighty, folks, this is one longer video than I was expecting. We're kind of getting set up for the fall. I have this new 5x12 raised bed I'm going to put someplace. I stuck it there just because I was thinking about keeping it there, but I'll dig in 4 holes in the corners and sink those posts and then fill it with the topsoil, compost, stuff that I have in the back. I don't know if I'm going to do it here or in the back, so that'll be for another video. Nancy likes the red, white, and blue. And that's it, folks. More later. Talk to you again sometime. Bye-bye.